Hi, and welcome to today's show. In today's show, we're going to do the final results of our speed testing. Stand by. We'll be back in 10. Hi, and welcome to today's show. And welcome to Utah Crossbow Hunter. Howdy, ma'am. Howdy, partner. Okay, so we're going to do the final results of our speed test. But first, I didn't film it because I'm sure it's getting kind of monotonous on the speed testing. So I want to give you the results first of the 40T Mitsubishi, if I'm saying that right, speed test. These were 6 arrows. The shaft weight with nothing on them was 355. Okay? All right, so let's get right into it. So with the 100 grain field tip, with these, the total weight was 455. The speed, the average speed, or the speed was 435.1. The kinetic energy was 191.87. The slugs, 0.881, with the average speed of 435.4. With the 125 grain tip on them, we had a weight of 479.9. The speed on those, I'll give the average in a second. The speed was 425.5. Kinetic energy was 193.42. Slugs, 0.908. And the average speed was 425.9. With the 150 grain tip, the total weight was 504. The speed was 415.4. The kinetic energy was 194.12. The slugs, 933. Again, 0.933. And the average speed was 415.7. Now that was the the 40T Mitsubishi arrows. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, and just like I did over here, I'm going to post everything right over here so you can see it. So you might want to get out a pen and paper, pencil, paper, whatever you want to do, and write this stuff down, or just pause it, look it over. Okay? Because there's going to be a lot of information here. A lot. Okay. So, let me lose my hat here for a second. All right. So, starting with the center punch 16 arrows. The dry weight on those were average probably around 308. Right around in there with all of them. So, with the 100 grain field tip on those, which made the weights around 408, right around in there. The average speed was 455.3. Kinetic energy was 188.4 with 8.825 in slugs. Not bad. Not bad at all. With the 125 grain tips on them, we had an average weight of 433. The average speed was 446. Kinetic energy, 191.44, and the slugs was 0.858. Again, these are the center punch 16s. With the 150 grain tip on them, we had an average weight of 458. The average speed was 431. Kinetic energy was 189. Slugs, 0.876. So we didn't get too bad results out of that. Actually, it wasn't bad at all. Now, the one thing I want to point out here, and I didn't catch it till later on, the speed with the 100 grain field tips was 455. A little short of the 460 as advertised. And here's why. They used the Pro Elite arrows to get that 460 speed. Okay? After I went back and did some research and stuff, that's what I found. They used the Pro Elite. So they're a little bit lighter arrow. The straightness is 0.003, where everything here is 0.001. So that's where the 460 came in at. All right, so let's take a look at the zombie slayers. All right, so the average weight of those was about 315, dry weight. Nothing on them but just fletchings and the stuff, all that good stuff on there. So with the 100 grain field tip, was about 415 with the weight. The average speed was 453.6. The kinetic energy was 189.7 with a slugs 0.836. With the 125 grain tip, we had an average weight of about 439.6, something like that. The average speed was 442.1. Kinetic energy was 190.76. The slugs was 0.862. With the 150 grain tip, the average weight was 446.2. The average speed was 432. Kinetic energy was 192.45. And the slugs was 0.890. So not bad, just a little bit better than the center punch 16s, just a little bit. The dragon claws. Now, I did fix all the dragon claws. I got new fletchings on them. I got new inserts put in them. So I got all my dragon claws back up and running. That is the good news with those. All right. So with the 100 grain field tip, average weight of about 425-ish, 0.8, around that area. The average speed was 448.7. Kinetic energy, 190.23. Slugs, 0.847. With the 125 grain tips, an average weight of 447.7. The average speed was 449.9. Kinetic energy, 201. Yes, I said 201.58. Slugs, 895. With the 150 grain tip, an average weight of 475. Let me try that again. 474.5. The average speed was 427.7. Kinetic energy was 192.78. And the slugs on that was 0.901. Okay? And we'll do a quick review of the Mitsubishi 40T, which I just did before. Well, remember, we're doing a comparison, so we're going to go through those again. With the 100 grain tip, average weight of 455.1. The average speed of 435.4. Kinetic energy, 191.87. Slugs, 0.881. 125 grain. Average weight, 479.7 or something like that. The average speed was 425.9. Kinetic energy was 193.42, and slugs of 908. With the 150 grain tip, roughly average of 5049, roughly. Speed of 415.7. The kinetic energy was 194.12, and the slugs was 0.933. Okay, so the question is going to be, which arrow do we want to use? Now, so, excuse me. We know that the name of the flatline is because it shoots flatter, straighter, supposedly. So if I was to do a longer shot, because I'm going to be eventually down the road here, probably after it warms up a little bit, I'm going to do some coyote hunting, some rabbit hunting, and different things like that. Some small animals, probably at longer distances. So, which arrow would you use on that? The Center Punch 16s, the Zombie Slayers, the Dragon Claws, or the Mitsubishi? And we're going to talk about broadheads further down the line here pretty soon, because I got some interesting stuff with broadheads. I really do. And I think with those, it's going to be I'm going to say a tough decision, but I do think I know what I'm going to go with my broadheads. But anyways, so we can see that the Dragon Claws have some pretty good punch. And you may have even heard it in the videos. I mean, we're looking at kinetic energy of 190, which is kind of low, or average compared to the other ones. A 201. That is a wow. Yeah, that is a wow. With the slugs of 895. And that was with the 125 grain tip. So I'm pretty impressed with that. That pretty much will go through anything we put in front of it. The Mitsubishis, to be quite honest with you, on the 40T Mitsubishis, I was a little disappointed because of their low kinetic energy. When I say low, 190s is high. But compared to the Dragon Claws, are a little bit lower. 191 for the Mitsubishis, 193, 194. But to the Dragon Claws, 192, 1 and 192, I think that's a little bit better. That's in my opinion. That's why I want your guys' comments down below on what you think. Tell me what you think about these comparisons here. I need your help. But the next test is going to be an interesting one too. And that's going to be the paper test, the paper tune. And it's not really called a tune, it's going to be called a sword. And we'll talk about that later on in our next video. Because we are going to be talking about the arrows a little bit more in depth. But overall, I'm going to say this test results are basically pretty good. They're all within, let's see, what's the lowest we have here? 188.04. Yeah, 188.04, and that is on the center punch 16s with the 100 grain tip. The highest is the Dragon Claw with the 125 grain tip at 201.56 for the kinetic energy. Now for the slugs, it is the lowest again is the center punch at 0.825. And when we say lowest, that's still pretty high. It really is. And the highest is the Mitsubishi 40T at 933 in slugs, but it only had a kinetic energy of 194. So, I mean, it's only 0.1. We'll call it 0.13. So the spread isn't really that much. It really isn't. Oh, yeah. That's what I got for you guys. Pretty, I would say pretty consistent. The speeds, we go from 455 all the way down to 415. I would prefer a little bit faster. I would prefer in the 4.4, yeah, in the 4.5, 4.4s area. That's what I would prefer at, to get more speed out of the arrows. Because 415, 425, 435, I don't know. What do you guys think? You think that's too slow for a 460 crossbow? I'm thinking it is, even though I do like the Mitsubishis. I don't remember what the insert is on those. I really don't. Maybe, I think it was 130. Maybe if it went down to a 110, it might be a better performance. I don't know. So there it is. I hope you guys wrote this stuff down or paused it and looked at everything over. And again, help me out in the comments. What do you think is the best arrow for this crossbow? Because in the next round, we're going to be, again, shooting all these arrows in the paper tune or sword. We're going to be shooting all these arrows again. We're going to be shooting them with the 100 grain, the 125 grain, the 150 grain. We're going to be doing them all over again. to see where we're at. Looking for the best arrow. Okay? That's what we're looking for. The best arrow. The straightest shooting arrow that we can find. So the paper test is going to tell us a lot more with this information here. A lot more comparisons. But this is the first step here, is which arrow to use. Okay? So, with that said, remember, 2,000 subscribers. Let's work on that. Get that there for my son. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Leave me a comment. And again, if you haven't seen all my videos in the past on these right here, go back and take a look at them. And the only one you won't find again is the 40T Mitsubishi. Okay? I decided that you guys had enough of the speed test. Okay? I really did. And if I'm wrong, let me know. I can always go back. We can always go back and redo these. We can. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, okay. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And thank you for watching. And remember, these episodes are dedicated to my son. And see you on the next episode of Utah Crossbow Hunter.